Most beneficent and merciful. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing us with existence and granting us the opportunity to move towards Him. Respected ulama, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. It is my utmost honor to welcome you all again on this blessed occasion, the birth anniversary of our living Imam, Imam al-Hujjah, Imam Mahdi, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahum. Muhammad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten the reappearance of our living Imam, inshallah. In Dua Ahad, we recite, O Allah, please do make me of His supporters, sponsors, defenders, and those who hurry in carrying out His instructions, those who comply with His orders, those who uphold Him, those who precede others to implementing His will, and those who will be martyred before Him. As we go through this spiritual journey, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our ibadat, fulfill our hajat, grant maghfirat to our marhumeen, and keep all lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam in His infinite mercy and grace, inshallah. To start the program with a recitation of glorious Quran, I would like to invite our young reciter, Brother Ahmad Dosani. Please welcome him with a very loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Exalt the name of your Lord, the Most High, who created and proportioned, and who destined and then guided, and who brings out the pasture, and then makes it black stubble. We will make you recite, O Muhammad, and you will not forget, except what Allah should will. Indeed, He knows what is declared and what is hidden. And we will ease you toward ease. So remind if the reminder should benefit. He who fears Allah will be reminded, but the wretched one will avoid it. He who will enter and burn in the greatest fire, neither dying therein nor living. He has certainly succeeded who purifies himself, and mentions the name of his Lord and praise. But you prefer the worldly life, while the hereafter is better and more enduring. Indeed, this is in the former scriptures, the scriptures of Abraham and Moses. Salawat.
MashaAllah, for Brother Ahmad Dosani, his family, his teachers, for all of them, please recite a loud salawat. Brothers and sisters, as you noticed, this was a third recitation of Quran in these days of Jashan, and the composure, the way they are pronouncing the Arabic language, the practice they have put in, it shows. And also the credit goes to Brother Kazim Hussain, who's guiding these kids. For all of their sehat, salamti and barakat, please recite a loud salawat. Muhammad. बेताब इस सबब से दिल बेकरार है, वो आएंगे ज़रूर मुझे एतबार है, हम ही नहीं ज़मीं पे कुछ तेरे मुंतज़िर, हम ही नहीं ज़मीं पर तेरे कुछ मुंतज़िर, ईसा को भी फलक पे तेरा इंतज़ार है. I now request our young brother Zirak Shah to please come forward and recite a mankabat in the honor of Ahl Bayt. Please welcome him with a loud salawat.
Salawat Muhammad ala Muhammad. ایسے ہم ساقیِ کوثر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، ایسے ہم ساقیِ کوثر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، جس طرح پیاسے جس طرح پیاسے سمندر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، ایسے ہم ساقیِ کوثر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں. یاد آتا ہے ہمیں تیرا رجب کا منظر، یاد آتا ہے ہمیں تیرا رجب کا منظر، جب بھی اللہ تیرے گھر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، ایسے ہم ساقیِ کوثر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں. خود سمجھ جاتا ہے مالک کا اشارہ، مالک خود سمجھ جاتا ہے مالک کا اشارہ، مالک بس علی مالک اشتر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، ایسے ہم ساقیِ کوثر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں. آیتیں ہوں یا محمد ہوں اما کی خاطر، آیتیں ہوں یا محمد ہوں اما کی خاطر، فاطمہ زہرا فاطمہ زہرا کی چادر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، ایسے ہم ساقیِ کوثر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، حوصلہ اپنا بڑھانے کے لیے مشکل میں، حوصلہ اپنا بڑھانے کے لیے مشکل میں، انبیاء خود علی اصغر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، ایسے ہم ساقیِ کوثر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، رک جائے موت زیارت کا مزہ لینے دے، رک جائے موت زیارت کا مزہ لینے دے، ہم ابھی چہرۂ حیدر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں، ایسے ہم ساقیِ کوثر کی طرف دیکھتے ہیں۔ صلوات محمد علی محمد صلوات محمد علی محمد۔ آپ پر درود اور سلام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، آپ پر درود اور سلام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، بس یہی صدا ہے صبح و شام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، آ رہے ہیں آپ، چل رہی ہے یہ خبر، خانہ خدا پہ ہے ٹکی ہوئی نظر، سج رہے ہیں راستے تمام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، آپ پر درود اور سلام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، دو جہاں کی بادشاہ تیری ذات ہے، تو ہے اس کا ہاتھ جو خدا کا ہاتھ ہے، تیرے ہاتھ بیعتیں تمام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، آپ پر درود اور سلام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، اس لیے تمہارا انتظار ہے شدید، سر اٹھائے پھر رہے ہیں وقت کے یزید، آ کے ان سے لیجے انتقام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، آپ پر درود اور سلام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام، خانہ خدا کو قید سے چھڑائیے، مولا جلد آئیے، ابا بھی جائیے، لے کے ذوالفقار بے نیام، اے میرے امام، آپ پر درود اور سلام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام۔ مانگتے ہیں اور یوں ظہور کی دعا، دیکھنا ہے ہم کو انتقام کربلا، چاہے پھر ہو زندگی تمام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام۔ آپ پر درود اور سلام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام۔ ہر نفس تجھے میرا سلام عرض ہے، میں تو کیا ہوں ہر نبی ولی پہ فرض ہے، دو جہاں میں تیرا احترام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام۔ آپ پر درود اور سلام، اے میرے امام، اے میرے امام۔ صلوات محمد۔
MashaAllah, Zira, great job. For his sehat, salamti and barakat, please recite a loud salawat. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, just a quick reminder, next Thursday we will go back to our regular Dua Kumal program, which starts at 7 p.m. with Maghrib and Isha prayers. 7:30 p.m., which we will start with Maghrib and Isha prayers. Ramadan Prep Workshop led by Sheikh Rizwan Rastu will take place on Saturday, March 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We can attend this program virtually at mainstay.us/fasting. To register and to learn more, kindly visit the website. Baitul Ilm Masjid cleanup will take place on Saturday, March 18th at 10 a.m. We are requesting all brothers and sisters who are able and willing to participate in this noble cause to please register on our website and clean the house of God, inshallah. Sisters ice skating will take place at 2 p.m. on March 11th. Sisters of all ages are invited to Addison Ice Arena on Saturday, March 11th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. For group ice skating, the admission is $10 to $12. For further information, kindly check the email which was sent out this morning. Tonight's program is sponsored by Kanji families for their sehat, salamti, barakat, acceptance of hajat. Please recite a loud salawat. Muhammad wa ali. They have requested Surah Fatiha for all of their marhumeen, for specially marhum Abdul Hamid Kanji, Muhammad Ali Kanji, Khairun Nisa Kanji, Hassan Ali Dharsi, Leila Dharsi, and for all of your marhumeen as well. Please recite a Surah Fatiha preceded by a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah. وجود حق سے یہ سارا نظام قائم ہے، وجود حق سے یہ سارا نظام قائم ہے، کسی کے فیض سے یہ انتظام قائم ہے۔ وہ اور ہوں گے یتیمان مذہب و ملت، وہ اور ہوں گے یتیمان مذہب و ملت، ہمارے سر پہ ہمارا امام قائم ہے۔ صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. Now without further ado, I would like to request Hujjatul Islam Moulana Amir Mukhtar Faezi to please come forward and address the Jashan. Bar Muhammad wa'ale Muhammad salawat.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد كتبنا في الزبور من بعد الذكر أن الأرض يرثها عبادي الصالحون. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, tonight we have the final discussion of the three discussions about Imam of our age, Qa'im Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And because of the weather and maybe for a variety of reasons, we have a little smaller gathering, and that makes actually easier for me to take it as a class and try to explain things which normally it is difficult to explain when there is a larger gathering and you have all kind of people sitting in front of you. Many of them, they don't have the background with these topics, and they just expect only those few lines which they are used to listen every year and every time, and you cannot go beyond that. But in such gatherings, we can talk about the real concepts, and we don't have to worry about somebody getting disappointed about the discussion. So I'm very happy with it. Please recite aloud salawat. When it comes to the 12th Imam, who is referred in Quran as Baqiyatullah, Baqiyatullahi khairul lakum in kuntum mu'mineen, one of his titles which Quran gives him is Baqiyatullah. The one that who is there, the remaining one or the awaited one, or the one that who is still there and has to come later at a assigned time. Baqiya we use in our Urdu and Farsi and the other languages also. Something is paid off and whatever is the balance, so it is called Baqiya, which will be delivered or which will come at the later time. That is called Baqiya or Baqaya. It is from Baqi, Baqa, something which is Baqi, what is still remaining on credit or which is coming later. Also, as we discussed that as he is Baqiyatullah, he is Al-Qa'im also. And Al-Qa'im, yani he is the one that who will do Qiyam, who will bring a revolution, who will lead a movement, and in result of that great movement there will be a big change. And in result of that movement and change, this entire society in the whole world will change. So we are not talking about a small change or a local change or a regional change. We are talking about a global change. A global change, and then also a change for good. It's easier to bring the change which is not that good. To ruin the spirit of individual or a family or a community or a society is very easy. You can disrupt the order, you can do something which is not decent, you can do certain things to just bring a big disruption in the system, or there are means and ways where you can take the society downward. Bringing people downward doesn't take too much energy, too much skill, or too much ability. That's very easy one. But taking people upward, that is the challenge. And that is the challenge for Anbiya. All of them, they had that challenge. That was the challenge for Ahlul Bayt. That has been the challenge for our great ulama and scholars and leaders. From the beginning of human history until today, this movement is still going on, and that is to lead people upward. That is why there is a expression used in Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Anbiya, when they invited people to join them, they use the word ta'alaw or ta'alaw or ta'al or ta'alaw. And ta'alaw is actually step up. Meaning when Anbiya ask people to join them, it's not only to join, it was step up. It shows that Anbiya were standing on higher moral ground, and they were asking the regular people or the society to step up. And stepping up requires energy, will, more willingness, and sometimes some effort. Going down is easy, but going up is the challenge. So, Imam is not only going to bring the change, but he is going to bring the noble change, the good change. That is the difficult task. And then it's not, as we said, it's not local, it's not regional, it is not even in one continent or in one part of the world. We are talking about Yamla'ul Ard. The word is Al-Ard. And all of our ulama have explained that when they did the tafsir of Quran, the word comes Al-Arz many times. So they say Ard means earth, but when it is Al-Arz, when there is Alif Lam on that, then it means the entire earth, meaning the entire society, entire world. So Imam alayhi salatu wassalam is going to establish justice and nobility and a noble system, which we will talk a little later, in the entire world. That is a big challenge. It's a huge challenge. In this corrupt world, where when you go from one part of the world to the other part of the world, and you will see the corruption everywhere. Yes, there are degrees and levels of corruption and varieties of corruptions and the styles of corruption, but you will see everywhere corruption. People are corrupt, even if they want a noble society, but they want nobility from others. When it comes to me, I will just continue going my way. I will be the last one who will change, because it's easy for me to change anytime. So inshallah, whenever I will decide to join, I will join. But let first go and work for others. Work on others. Try to change others. First try to change the spouse or your children or your parents or your relatives or community. As for me, I know I have to change, and I can change at any time, and I will inshallah do that at a later time. But right now I am all occupied changing others. Isn't that reality? Don't you think that this is the norm? That we want everybody else to change, but when it comes to us, we can change anytime. And that we will change later. So, society, people are corrupt, and it's not that the common people are corrupt. Even those who consider themselves the dignitaries or elite and the noble people and honorable people, and they are also corrupt and sometimes even more corrupt. But they have the luxury of their wealth and certain other social skills or social services or whatever, some kind of conveniences that they can always cover their corruption. If it is something coming from an ordinary person, everybody is going to jump and criticize and expose him and point out. But when it is from somebody dignitary, everybody will look the other side. Nobody is going to pinpoint. Nobody is going to expose him. Nobody is going to talk. Even courts, many times you know that ordinary people are always judged very quickly, and they are given the sentence and the punishment and whatever. But when it comes to those wealthy, rich and privileged people who can hire those big law firms to defend them, and they have those millions of dollars to spend, their cases and trials, as you know, that take forever until you can really bring them to the justice. So the social justice, the criminal justice, the economical justice, and all those kind of justices, you don't see them anywhere, because it is all the system is corrupt. Courts are corrupt. The legal community, the attorneys, the lawyers, meaning those who wear that beautiful what you call outfit and sit on those high chairs in the court, or those who are standing in front of them as attorneys or as lawyers, knowingly they are protecting the criminals just because they are paid for that. You know what is happening in the assemblies, in those parliaments. You start at provincial level, you go to the national level, you go in small country, you go into big country. You see that these are, meaning those are lobbies, those are powerful circles, that they defend their interests, and they dictate that what kind of laws should be made. So the laws, even they are made for justice apparently, but those laws are also, they have lot of loopholes for these wealthies to take advantage of that. From so many years we are listening those cases of Mr. Trump. That is a good example. And he is just one person of that whole class. And you will never see that these courts, these assemblies, these judges, they are going to reach any time to the conclusions. So this is how this world is. It's corrupt from the bottom to top. And corruption is again not only in one area, it's in every area of the life. And let me bring it to the final point, because I want to expand the discussion. Even if you bring this corruption into the religious circles, which is the holiest, where corruption is not supposed to be. You see, even the religious circles, and I don't want to name any particular religion. You are hearing all the stories always on the radio, on the TV, in the newspapers, that these are the big religious, what you call denominations and religious traditions, and these are big religious establishments, and you see them all sinking in the corruption. And corruptions of all kind, financial corruption and moral corruption and corruption of so many other kinds. And don't think that this is only among the other religions. And alhamdulillah, we can say that no, the Islamic, for example, religious establishment is totally free of that corruption. Read the newspapers of Muslim countries, and every day, particularly those who come from India and Pakistan, because I'm watching those TV channels and reading those newspapers, after a few days, every time there is a story. The teacher who teaches Quran to the child. Meaning, what can you expect even more than that? That this is a Hafiz of Quran or Qari of Quran or teacher of Quran, and teaching Quran to a child, and then he ends up molesting that child. And this is not something new, or this is not something that which you don't know or which I don't know, or this is something very rare. No, it is happening on regular basis. That is why I never advise people to hire these kind of teachers to come to your residences, to your places, or send to teach your young children, or you send your children to their residences to teach even Quran, just when they are alone. Parents have to sit and join that class. If you are asking a Qari or a Hafiz or a teacher to come and teach the Quran to your child, you should also sit in the class. The father or the mother, it will make that teacher more responsible to teach first of all. He will not just kill the time, because they love to kill the time. Children don't behave, they don't take it very seriously, and then they have their own problems. So the point is, if you hire someone, you should also sit there and learn that what he is teaching to your children. But what I am saying, this is just one level. Then you go to these madrasas and these darul ulooms, and we all know that, meaning how many bad things are happening over there. And then you go to the corruption of muftis, those who give those fatwas when they are paid for, the paid fatwas. Just because a wealthy individual is paying them, or the government is dictating them, or for some other reasons. And then it goes to not only their muftis, it goes to sometime our muftis also. Don't think again and that everything is holy in Najaf, or everything is holy in Qom, or everything is holy in our places also. Yes, we have those pious, every time our Maraje Taqleed, and again in this day and age there are two kinds of Maraje Taqleed. Maraje Taqleed who come from within the system, genuinely they reach to that position of marja'iyat, and they are fully, meaning they are fully recognized by the establishment of hawzas, like for example in Najaf Ayatollah Sistani, Ayatollah Hafiz Bashir, or Ayatollah Ishaq Fayyaz, or there was Ayatollah Saeed Hakim, meaning, and he passed away a few months ago. Or in Qom, for example, Ayatollah Wahid Khurasani, Ayatollah Makarim Shirazi, Ayatollah Shubairi Zanjani, and Ayatollah Subhani, Makarim Shirazi, or in Tehran, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei, or in Mashhad we have some. So that class of people, they are the best people which we know in our time. The most pious, the most knowledgeable, most responsible people. But now in these days, from the time the Marja'iyah has taken power after Islamic Revolution, and our enemies have found out that how much these Maraje and their fatwa has a power and influence, now we have this fake Maraje also, even in Qom, even in Najaf, even in Mashhad and Karbala, funded by dollars and pounds. And their offices are there, they are very much, meaning they spend so much money to get the publicity, particularly among Indians and Pakistanis and some of these Arab countries. And they are becoming very popular, and because they are giving those popular fatwas, which masses want from them, and Ayatollah Sistani is never going to give that fatwa, or Ayatollah Makarim is never going to give that fatwa, or Ayatollah Wahid Khurasani is never going to give that kind of fatwa. And these people, they give those awami, popular, makbul fatwas, and they are actually now ruining the whole status of Marja'iyah. I cannot explain more details at this time from pulpit, but later on, if you ask me the questions, I can give you the examples, and I can let you know that anything under the sun will become halal if you pay, everything under the sun will become haram if you pay. And who are doing? They have huge big imama on their head, white or black, big office, big beard, Ayatullah al-Uzma, Sayyid or Shaykh, and they are sitting in those holy cities. So it's not only the muftis of Sunnis, these are our muftis also. And then corruption, if you want to see. Last example and we move. What is happening right now, and I'm afraid it will start happening in this part of the world, because here they have more kind of vulnerability in that area. Back home, when we were used to have majalis, if you ask the people that who are in their 80s or 90s right now, that how the environment of these majalis was when you were growing up. Even we who are in 60s, we know that in our childhood or in our young age, how was the environment of majalis and how these ulama and zakireen would come and they would address the majalis. A new trend which has just came in, and I have again the references and clips and the record to share if later on anyone wants to see. What has happened just a few years ago, one of the popular politicians in Pakistan, when he was used to hold his big gatherings, conventions or big conferences or rallies, he was used to play music. He would hire a DJ and he would give a speech, and when he would just make a big point, when he was, politicians, they do point scoring. When he would score a point against the other party or government, he would stop and DJ would start playing the music. बाज़ लोग मुझे यूं देख रहे हैं जैसे वो आज पैदा हुए हैं, and they have never heard about that. They just came out from the cave. So this was happening on daily basis, and it happened for years in Pakistan. That Imran Khan is giving the speech, and here when he scores the point, the DJ goes, Imran aayega, jayega, yun hoga, woon hoga, and you know that all those songs. For a minute or two, or for 30 seconds, as our Nare Haidari, that was their Nare Haidari, and then again the speech starts. Again, after 5-10 minutes, the same thing. He scores the point, DJ goes, and he starts speaking. Now, recently what has happened, that our Zakireen have hired DJs. And it is a Jashan, and it is in Imam Bargah, and the Khatib is sitting on the mimbar. And 6 or 7 people are standing with the band. And you can see that in the clip, I can show you. They are prepared and sitting, and slowly they are just playing the band, and he is giving the speech of the Wiladat, or it was 13th of Rajab or something like that. And when he reaches to the point, he scores the point where they were used to have Nare Haidari. Now what happens? He starts band. ढोल को क्या कहेंगे आप अंग्रेजी में? मैं तो बैंड ही कह जा. हाँ जी? Drum? Yeah. So they start beating the drum. And when they beat the drum, everybody stands up, and now they are all dancing. This is just the new one. In Imam Bargas, in our gatherings, where Dhikr Muhammadu Ali Muhammad is being done, and they are doing that. In certain cities, they bring those ladies, dancers, in the Jashan of 13th of Rajab, with all that full makeup, with revealing dresses, and they put them on stage, and they dance and they sing those songs, and this is, they are celebrating the Jashan of Wiladat of Amirul Mu'mineen, Imamul Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. It's happening. In Ayyam Aza, in Muharram Safar, they in order to create the image or the scene that how ladies were taken as captured, so they will bring the ladies and without scarves, bare head, and then chains in their hands, and then they would make them, they would stand on the both sides as Shamis or Kufis, and they would ask these ladies to pass from in between. Meaning, can you imagine these things, that these things are happening? No, this is what I mean, the corruption. This is another sort of corruption. Now, anybody that who is going to stop or talk about it, he is thrown out of the Shia list of speakers or ulama. He is Wahhabi, he is Muqassir, he is Dushman-e Ali Muhammad, he is the enemy of Azadari, he is not Shia. And their biggest thing, what the biggest medal what they gave, or the curse what they say, we know he is not from his father. He is Waladuz Zina. We know his mother was not a good lady, and he is illegitimate child of his parents, and that's why he is saying all this what he is saying. I can show you those. This is all on the YouTube. They are naming those reformer ulama. They are naming those reformer ulama and bringing this allegation against them to stop them. And then you go to Najaf, you go to Karbala, you go to those cities, you tell them, we have these messages behind us, we came from Pakistan, and Sayyidana, Shaykhana, Hazrat Ayatullah, if you can give us fatwa that this is okay and this is halal and this is jaiz, then all those people in our city will do your taqleed. And they will send all their homes to you. So you get the fatwa that yes, for the Azadariye, Hazrat Aba Abdullah, all these things, because they have some good results, they can bring people in, and so it is jais. This is what corruption I was meaning. Meaning corruption is not only in Catholic Church. It's not only in the Jewish tradition. It is not only in the Hindu tradition. It is not only in the Sunni tradition. It has come into our tradition also. And why I am saying that when this Imam is going to come, so what kind of community and followers he will have, and what a big challenge we are creating for him. First of all, he is crying with blood right now, because this is his community. These are the people that on one hand they claim that we are your Shias and please come, and only come to take the revenge of Karbala. Do nothing else. The only thing what we want from you is to come and go and beat their graves. That is the noble thing which we are all waiting for 12th Imam to come in. But don't tell us what we should do. My brothers and sisters, first of all what is happening in our community, that is giving pain to our Imam. There are tawqi'at, there are writings, the letters and the sayings of our Imam, that whatever you do on daily basis, we are receiving the reports. There are angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who are hired to bring your a'mal to us and give us the report. We receive those reports on daily basis. In some riwayat, on weekly basis. Imam says, if we see you are doing good, I feel happy about it and I pray for you. I pray for you. If I see that you are doing something good, then you have my prayers. But when we see our Shias committing sins and corruption and doing bad things, it pains me. It bothers me. It disappoints me. So this is first of all, as a whole, as a community, we need to see that whether we are pleasing our Imam of the age or we are giving him pain and we are giving him all the discomfort. Then what is going to happen? And I am going to share with you some riwayat here. When Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will come, and this corruption, as you know, that as it is growing, just like weeds. The positive things grow slow, but the weeds grow much faster. So, this corruption is growing in every circle of life. And when Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will come, his job is first to reform, because he needs to have those reformed people joining him and standing with him, and he is going to have some support from those people. Many people, when Imam will come, they will not even believe in him as that this is Imam of our age or this is Imam of our time. Most of these people up front who are now praying for him every day, when he will come, most of them will deny and they will say, no, he is not our Imam. The reason, again, Riwayat explains. But before I read Riwayat for you, I just share with you the experience is historical reference. You know the Jews in Medina? They were used to wait for the last prophet, and they would pray for him. And many of them actually had migrated from this area of Palestine, and they just went ahead and they put their roots in Medina, because in their scriptures it was written the last prophet will emerge from here. So they went actually to welcome this prophet, join this prophet, and they were, of course, very committed people, determined people, good people. That's why they bothered to leave their own homeland, and they went as muhajir, as a small minority, and they settled in Medina. And whenever they had fight with the local people, they would always threaten them. We will take care of you. Our Messiah is coming. Our prophet is coming. When he will come, he will establish government here. We will be in government, and then we will take care of you. And you know that when prophet came, what happened? The most committed and determined enemies of prophet were the same people. You understand? We should always pray that, oh Allah, save us from this. History repeats. So we who are waiting for him, and our children will be waiting for him, so at least we are not one of those that who are the first one to deny him. Because the chances are, again, why they are going to deny? The reason is, this hadith which I am going to narrate, this is from Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. Imam says, first of all, when you read the hadith, you get shocked. But then, when you understand that what Imam means, then you feel that, yeah, now I understand. Imam Sadiq says, إِذَا خَرَجَ الْقَائِمُ يَقُومُ بِأَمْرٍ جَدِيدٍ وَكِتَابٍ جَدِيدٍ وَسُنَّةٍ جَدِيدٍ وَقَضَاءٍ جَدِيدٍ. When the Qa'im will come, he will stand up with totally a new call, a new book, a new sunnah, kitab and sunnah, new book, a new sunnah, and a new system of justice or new system of law. So, apparently it looks like, meaning the Quran will be cancelled, the Sunnah of Muhammad will be cancelled, and the 12th Imam will bring the new Quran, the new book, the new Sunnah, and the new system. Is that right? That's not what Imam means. Actually, what is going to happen, and it has happened to some extent, and it is now happening on fast pace, that this same Quran, as the other hadith is saying, its only text will remain, but the meaning, the message, the interpretation, the tafsir, everything will totally change. People will read the same text, but when it will come to translate it, to explain it, to interpret, the interpretation is totally out of the way, out of the context. So people are reading Quran, but this Quran is not guiding them, because they have no interpretation. Every haram is halal, every halal is haram, and things are all just messed up. Same is, it's the aqaid which are the basis of Islam. Tawheed, it is only that saying that yes, I say Allah is one, and iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, but in practice totally different. Everything will be justified under the sun. Whatever we do, you will find a fatwa, you will find a scholar, you will find a wise, you will find a zakir, you will find a mudarris, you will find a mujtahid who will say, yes, in a way what you are saying, this is right too. This is also right. This is also okay. So then what is going to happen? The Quran is going to change, and it will not remain the same Quran as it was used to be in the time of Prophet or Imams. The sunnat of Prophet will change. And then the law will change, meaning the fiqh, the halal, the haram, they will also change. They will do their own whatever they want to do in the name of their own modernization. They will change the laws of halal and haram and sharia, so that when the Imam will come and he will call them to the original message of Quran, the original sunnat of Prophet and A'immah, people will say he has brought totally a new religion. This religion we don't know. His azan is different, his iqamat is different, his doing of other things is different. Whatever he is telling us, this is not something what we were used to. So I don't want to get more in details, it's problematic. But the issue is that change is happening and it will keep happening, and a time will come when everything will reach to a point where when Imam will come and he will call them to the true and the original message of Prophet and Imam Ali and Imam Hassan and Hussain and Jafar-e-Sadiq and all his Aba'u Ajdad, it will be totally a new religion to people. The Quran will be a new book, the Sunnah will be a new Sunnah, the law, the fiqh will be a totally new fiqh. And that is, they will see, and these zakireen and these ulama and those people that who are privileged and have following and have standing, they will be the first one that who will deny the Imam. And if you want to see again, look in the society, any mujtahid, any first class scholar or your local scholar that who little bit tries to take you back to the original message of Quran and Hadith, what happens to him? You can just see, right now it is happening. How many scholars in Najaf and how many scholars in Qom and how many scholars in India and Pakistan and in Lebanon, they have been discarded, they have been boycotted, they have been thrown out of community, they have been given bad names and bad publicity. And what is their sin? That they are calling people to the original aqaid, the original fiqh, the original law, the original message of Muhammadu Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. And instead of joining those ulama and following those ulama, the masses are behind those jahil and fasid and corrupt ulama and zakireen. They are popular. The other day I was listening a speech. Somebody sitting in a gathering. We have these kind of gatherings, and people like me or those who are trying to little bit make easier for the Imam of the age when he comes, but they have thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So I saw one speech, one majlis. A guy is sitting and at least his audience is 10,000, at least 10,000. And he is giving a speech in Chakwal. And when he is giving that speech, his knowledge you can understand from this point, that when he refers to the poet Farazdaq, which even children know, he said Farzauq. He said there was a poet by the name of Farzauq, that who has this kind of poetry, and people are jumping up and down. A man that who doesn't know, even your children know that this shair, this poet was Farazdaq. 10,000 people are sitting in front of him and jumping up and down. And when the real ulama, they come to speak in the same town, there are 200 elderly people sitting in front of them. 150, 200 people sitting in front of them. Then he says, you show me, you say Maulvi is very important and Zakir is not. Then he says, show me Maulvi, where is Maulvi in Quran? I show you Zakir in Quran. And then he recites the ayat. Instead of saying, Zakir, Fadhakkir in nafa'ate dhikra, he says, Quran says, Zikr. So, Fazakir, he cannot say Fazakir. Quran, Quran says Zikr. Fa in nafa'ate dhikra. Meaning people who cannot even correct their khutbah. Those who cannot recite one ayat or one hadith correctly. Thousands of people are behind them and listening them and liking them. And those true scholars that who are knowledgeable, they are speaking in the hundreds, 100 people, 200 people. This is happening now. Weeds are even growing faster. So what can you imagine 50 years from today? They have brought the band. They have brought the drum in the majlis, in Imambada. So what can you hope further? What is going to happen? So my brothers and sisters, Imam alayhi salatu wassalam, recite his salawat. When it comes to our 12th Imam, I follow this particular line of my great teacher, who is the grand marja of time, Ayatollah Nasir Makarim Shirazi, very accomplished scholar, one of the grand Maraje, a man who has written more than 100 books, spent his life in learning, teaching. Now he is in his late 80s or early 90s. He had written a masterpiece on the subject, Mahdi Inqilabi-e-Buzurg. So he said Mahdi, a great revolutionary. Then later this book was published as Hukumat-e-Jahani-e-Mahdi, the international or global government of Mahdi. It's a wonderful book. It's a research work. And I am sharing with you just the last section of that, only one or two hadiths, and we conclude. He says that actually Imam alayhi salatu wassalam, his job is to reconstruct this entire religious tradition. He has to reform the system. And when it is reforming the system, so he will start from the very beginning. The Quran, which is being misinterpreted. Everyone Shias are trying to interpret in their way, Sunnis are trying to interpret in their way, Wahhabis are trying to interpret their way. Everyone has certain belief system or certain claims or certain stands. Whichever ayat comes in their way, then they always find a way to, जैसे कहते हैं उसके पास से यूं करके गुजर जाना. So yes, this ayat says this, but actually it is meant this. Everyone has one hadith. Everyone has some way to bypass that ayat which comes on their way, because they have taken certain positions and they cannot just now change those positions. You change that position, you are done. You are not Sunni anymore or you are not Shia anymore. So you have to honor it and you have to take it. But here is the ayat of Quran. What can you do? It is on your way. Then interpretation. Interpret it to make it convenient for you. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam has to first teach this Quran as Prophet had taught, as Imam Ali had taught, as other A'imma had taught. and make the corrections, correct all those misconceptions about Quran. Then it comes to hadith. There are not hundreds, thousands of fabricated hadiths. Thousands of fabricated hadiths on both sides. And when you are stuck, you have a bunch of hadiths to always bring and rescue you. And when you say this is, when on their side, when this is Qala Rasulullah, so who can challenge that? In this side, when Qala al-Sadiq and Qala al-Bakir, so who can now challenge you? You don't mention the chain, you don't mention the narrators, you don't even interpret the hadith properly, you misquote, you misinterpret, but you are using the name of Imam. So the poor guy has to agree or at least keep quiet. So Imam has to go through all this and clearing the misconceptions and bringing the improvement in these all concepts. You know, clearing one misconception is how difficult. And creating that much big change in the aqaid of people, in their understanding, in their beliefs. And to begin with, you are doing this. Imam is not going to be like us Moulanas, that I have to go with the community for some time until I establish, until I have certain following. Then slowly, maybe I will tell them the truth. Imam has to tell the truth from the day one. And from the day one, he will become controversial. You understand what I am trying to say? Normally, even us that who are the reformers, they try to first not tell the whole truth. They try to first keep it little bit low, downplay, establish yourself, have following, have faith of people. Then slowly, little bit, you can tell them. But Imam is not going to do taqiyya. This is the only Imam out of 12 Imams that who is not going to do taqiyya even for one day. This is agreed upon among our scholars. Every Imam did taqiyya. Amir al-Mu'mineen did taqiyya, Imam Hassan did taqiyya, Imam Hussain did taqiyya, Imam Zainul Abidin did taqiyya, Imam Muhammad Baqir did taqiyya, Imam Jafar as-Sadiq did taqiyya, all the way until Imam Hassan Askari. The only Imam that who is not going to do taqiyya even for one day, that is this Imam. So the day he comes, he becomes controversial. सबसे पहला स्टिकर ये वहाबी मुकस्सिर. He is not Shia. He is telling us totally different things. We were sitting and anticipating and waiting that he will come and he will do. We have our own laundry list for him. But he is totally different man with a different message. So this is, my brothers and sisters, many people don't know that asking dua for his zuhur, asking dua for his return is actually you putting yourself in the fire. And then, as Ayatollah Makarim says here, that many concepts who have died down or will die down in the future, the concept of hijrat for deen. We are doing hijrat but for mal, for better economy, for better education, for better world. But doing hijrat for your deen, that this is not the place where my deen is safe. Although I have dunya and more convenient dunya, but my deen is not safe here. So let me do hijrat and go somewhere where I can protect my deen and deen of my children. This concept has died down. And it will further die down. Imam will come and he will now again cause a new life, this concept of hijrat lid-deen. then how many people will respond to his call and leave their factories and their established companies and corporations and businesses of millions of dollars and properties of millions of dollars, and just on the call of Imam they will abandon everything and they will go wherever he will ask them to come right away? Do you think it's easy decision? People will say to Imam the same thing what earlier people said to Imam Hussain. Mawla, wait. It's not the time. You should wait. And when we will have more people, then we will stand up. Don't put yourself in the destruction. Don't destroy yourself. Don't destroy us. Don't destroy everyone. The same advice which his grandfather Imam Hussain got, he will get also. The concept of shahadat has totally now eliminated. No one wants to put himself in that situation, because my children are young. They are going school, they are going college, university, their future. Who is going to pay their bills? Who is going to pay a mortgage? Who is going to do all this? We are in this system, we are so much occupied and so much sunk in the system up till this point that no one can put himself in a situation where your wife becomes a widow and your children become orphan and they go all in street. So, now we want to fix the problems, we want to serve the deen of Allah, but none of us is ready to become shaheed. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is going to now bring a new life to this concept of shahadat, and he will ask people that if you join me, then you have to be ready for shahadat also. And then Agha Makarim gives other example. He says these are abandoned concepts even today, and you don't know how much these concepts will be even abandoned further. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, his job is going to be very difficult, and I know that many of you are kind of surprised to see how, if that is the case, then how Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will come, because everybody thinks he will fix the world with Ism Azam or with what you call with miracles. Ayatullah Makarim says that very clearly here. He says, I have said it earlier, and I will read this and I will finish. And he says that, recite his salawat. One more salawat. So he says that it's not the right understanding that if people think that when he will come, he will fix this world and all these problems with the miraculous power. Miracle is not there to convert the people or to change the world or to change the system. Because if by miracle he has to do this job, then why Prophet Muhammad didn't do that? He was his Jad and messenger of Allah. So he could do that. Amirul Mu'mineen, Madharul Ajaib. If he is going to use the Zulfiqar of his grandfather, so why Sahib Zulfiqar didn't use his own Zulfiqar for that purpose? If he is going to use Ism Azam, so every Imam had Ism Azam. So Ayatollah Makarim challenges that thing. He says, Mojiza is only to prove in certain conditions, not again in every condition, to prove that you are messenger of Allah or you are Imam min Allah. To prove your risalat or to prove your imamat. In very genuine cases, to the genuine people, here and there, yes, you may perform the mojiza to prove. And mojiza can be, you can tell what is in his heart, what is in his pocket, for example. What did he say to his son while they were driving to come and meet you? You can tell them, this is mojiza. But Imam is not going to establish this just society or noble society or this society totally on new basis by using any mu'jiza. He has to work with people as prophets work, as Imam work, he has to work. So, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam he has right now very tough time, very difficult time, but he is sitting and watching. The most concerned man on the earth today is the Imam of the time. The most concerned man is the Imam. And when he will appear again, someone that who is in the most difficult time and who has to face the most difficult job, that is going to be the Imam of the time. But the good thing is, which now I don't have time to explain, there are some good points also. As society is growing, as humankind is going through certain experiences, as this certain the technologies are growing, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, when he will reappear, riwayat are saying that for first 5 to 7 years are going to be very difficult. For first 5 to 7 years are going to be very difficult. But then slowly, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will now be able to clear the concepts of many. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will be able to convince many to join him. And Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will have also certain resources, inshallah, at his disposal, which he will use very wisely and very effectively, that Imam will increase his base. So it's not that here he will come and here he will call and the next day there will be Dawlatun Karima. It's not going to be happen like that. So it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a movement. It's going to be a struggle full of sacrifices, hijrat, shahadat, spending all what you have in the way of Allah and in the way of Imam, and doing all those hard jobs and difficult jobs. Then Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will be able to establish, according to some riwayat, within about 10 years or little less or more, Imam will be able to, inshallah, establish. And when he will establish, again there are riwayat that how long Imam will live and how long that state, that government which Imam will establish, how long that will live. And we discussed yesterday, Imam's job is to create a Jannat, replica of that Jannat on the earth. That is the job. A Jannat on this earth, and where people willingly participate in creating that Jannat and to bring the humanity to its fullest potential. According to some riwayat, the numbers which is given, there are some riwayat which are saying 9 years after establishment of that government, and there are riwayat up to 309 years or 300 to 69 years. That so much effort has been put. So now it should continue at least for 3 centuries. And then after that 3 centuries, when the system is all established, humanity has reached to its final destiny, it has reached to its potential, the fullest potential, and that purpose which Allah had for placing the Al-Insan on the earth, when it is accomplished, that is the time when the Qiyamah will come. So this is just again a gist. I took your almost 1 hour, but I kind of give you some idea that how this zuhur is going to happen and how Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will be able. We didn't have time to explain that, and you are, I'm sure, familiar that when Imam will establish that society, that new government or a new society, the major things Number one is education. The hadith which Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam has, certain things are explained in a figurative manner, in a symbolic way. Imam says that knowledge, the entire knowledge, if you want to measure it, it is 27 letters. 27 letters, the entire knowledge. And Imam says all the Anbiya, 124,000, and we are Imam before him, we have brought only 2 letters of knowledge. 2 letters. The rest of 25 letters will come when Qa'im will come. When he will come, so he will bring the 25 letters, meaning if you can say 27 portions or shares of knowledge, if you want to understand in that sense. Only 2 shares have come so far. The 25 will come when Imam will come. When Imam will come, the society will shoot in education and in technology that people cannot even today imagine. And there are here riwayat which Ayah Makarim has explained, that some of those things even we can see today happening. If these are the things what we are seeing today, so what Imam will bring? For example, this is very famous one. When we were used to quote these ahadith, our Sunni brothers would call us mental cases. They were saying these people have some problem. Because Aimma were saying that when Mahdi will come, when he will speak, he will be standing in Makkah, but everyone in the world will be watching him and will be listening to him. People would say, how it is possible? Somebody is standing in Makkah and speaking, and everybody in the world is watching and listening. It is happening even today. Somebody can speak from any point of the world and everybody is. Imam didn't use the word for some kind of aircraft, but Imam says that Allah will give him a markab, meaning a ride that which will flow in the air like a cloud, and he will be traveling so just as the cloud is going. So meaning we are all flying now. We don't know what kind of aircraft in his time and what kind of technology, how far it goes. So the point is, Imam gave us all that news that Imam will have, but education, technology. Then economy. Imam is going to bring the economical justice. And this is the hadith from Imam Sadiq that he will divide equally to every race, to every color, to people of every creed, to people of every region, to people of every country. And they say that will bring the society in such economical condition that there won't be any poverty. Today poverty is because the wealth is not being distributed by a just system. Imam will establish that system. That hadith says when people will have the money of zakat and sadaqah, and they will be looking that if there is someone that who can accept it, and they will not find someone. Nobody will need to accept sadaqah or zakat or khums or any money like that. The security, the hadith says that an old lady can walk alone and travel alone from one side of the world to the other side of the world without any fear. While she has jewelry, she has money, she is only one woman. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is going to establish that kind of society. And how he can do that? Inshallah, one day I will take class and I will explain that there Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, what are the things which inshallah he will use and the approaches which are mentioned in hadith and how he will establish that. But my brothers and sisters, we are that community. We need to share that dream with the people. Instead of scaring them from Mahdi, we need to go and share this news that he is the one that who will bring new knowledge, new education, higher education. He will bring the highest possible technology, even the energy. There is a hadith that people won't need anything else for energy. This all energy he will bring from that. It is the hadith says from Arsh Ilahi, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam will bring that kind of energy which will run this whole world. No fight on this oil or anything else, or gas or lithium. Yeah. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam is going to bring a better energy. He is going to bring a better system of economy. He is going to bring a better system of justice. He is going to bring the unity among the people. And he is going to unite people of entire world, inshallah. At the end, it will be just like one family, one nation, one community, one society, all just obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't scare people from Imam Mahdi. Try to share this dream. We are that community that who have this dream. And when our Imam will come, so he will inshallah take this whole humankind into a new phase and to the final phase. Recite a salawat. We are very thankful to our sponsors for this night, Kanji family, that they have sponsored this program for their sehat, salamti, khair o barakat, tul umr. Kindly recite a loud salawat. For all of their marhumeen, and particularly today we miss Dr. Abdul Hamid Kanji, a senior member of our community and of course head of their family, for his Isale Sawab and Isale Sawab of all of their marhumeen and your marhumeen. Please recite a Surah Mubarakah. Fatiha masbukatan bis salawat. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Ziyarat-e-Waris tonight is Shab-e-Jum'ah, so we can recite Ziyarat-e-Waris and it will conclude the program, inshallah. Assalamu alayka ya waris Adam safwatillah. Assalamu alayka ya waris Nuhin nabiyillah. Assalamu alayka ya waris Ibrahim khalilillah. Assalamu alayka ya waris Musa kalimillah. Assalamu alayka ya waris Isa ruhillah. Assalamu alayka ya waris Muhammadin habibillah. Assalamu alayka ya waris Amir al-Mu'mineen waliyillah. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Muhammadin al-Mustafa. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Ali al-Murtada. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Fatima al-Zahra. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Khadijah al-Kubra. Assalamu alayka ya Thar Allah wa ibn Tharih wal Witr al-Mawtur. Ashhadu annaka qad aqamta as-salat wa atayta az-zakat wa amarta bil ma'ruf wa nahayta 'anil munkar wa ata'ta Allah wa rasulahu hatta ataka al-yaqin. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها
وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. زيارة علي بن الحسين. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. زيارة جميع الشهداء. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه، السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأوداءه، السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا أنصار فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الولي الزكي الناصح، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي أنتم فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما، فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. زيارة حضرت أبي الفضل العباس. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن سيد الوصيين، السلام عليك يا ابن أول القوم إسلاما وأقدمهم إيمانا وأقومهم بدين الله وأحوتهم على الإسلام. أشهد لقد نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك فنعم الأخ المواسي، فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة استحلت منك المحارم وانتهكت حرمة الإسلام، فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر والأخ الدافع عن أخيه المجيب إلى طاعة ربه الراغب فيما زاهد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل، وألحقك الله بدرجة آبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام عليك مولاي يا أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء. السلام عليك وعلى آبائك السبعة وعلى أبنائك الأربعة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك مولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.